Welcome to the Inner Blueprint Podcast. I'm Sean Foyer, the Universal Mindset Disruptor. With over 20 years of turning blueprints into thriving home improvement businesses, I've learned that the strongest foundations start in your mind. Whether you're building a business or your own success, we're here to reshape how you think and face daily life and always remind you to enjoy the ride. Well, hello and welcome back to another episode of Inner Blueprint, the podcast designed specifically for the home improvement industry, but with our ripple effect, helping anybody and everybody that wants to learn how to think better thoughts to get better results. I'm your co-host here, Sean Foyer, with the beautiful, amazing
Caitlin Foyer.
And we are so excited today. Our guest is a leader in the home improvement industry who has built his business on vision, courage, and a willingness to disrupt the norm while overcoming challenges. After earning a construction management degree from Ohio State University, he spent more than a decade with national home builders before spotting a void in the market along the Carolina coast. That insight led him to launch his own company, one that started in new construction but quickly expanded into remodeling. Then in late 2018, he made a bold move, shutting down the new construction side entirely to focus on remodeling. At the time, it shocked many people, but looking back, 7 years later, it has proven to be one of the best decisions of his career. Outside of his business, he and his wife, Michelle, love traveling, especially to visit their daughter, who now carries on the Ohio State tradition. Please welcome to Inner Blueprint Podcast, our friend, Randy Han.
Hi, Randy.
Hey there. Well, thanks for having me.
And speaking of Ohio State,
on this beautiful day.
Right?
And talk about synchronicities and coincidence, which there are no such thing. Where are you today?
I'm actually in the Ohio State football stadium, the shoe.
Oh my gosh. And I guess you have to start off telling us about this weekend. What did you do this weekend?
So I got to do something that, a lot of people always talk about, but I dotted the I this weekend with the on the field. Got out there in this 50-year-old body and showed that I could still do it. So it's pretty awesome.
And who was on the field with you?
So my wife and my daughter. So my daughter's in the marching band. And the best part is my wife marched right behind me the whole time. And there was the three of us on the field at the same time. And as you always say, how does it get better? I think it really just did.
It definitely did. And that's so amazing because your wife is also... she was also in the marching band. And the last time you dotted the I, when was that and what happened?
So that was 1998. And before I dotted the I proposed to her in front of 10,000 people. So I will say that one was much more nerve wracking than this past Saturday.
Oh.
I wasn't carrying a diamond ring in my pocket.
Yeah.
But you also didn't have your beautiful daughter on the field too.
That's right. It was pretty
I,
awesome. She was on the opposite side from us, but the scoreboard was there and she saw me doing it and she said she just started bawling while she was on the field. Awesome. There's nothing better as a parent than to hear that, right?
No, there really isn't. And obviously we want to get into talking about you, your business, kind of the challenges. But in my mind, I think back when I first met you about a decade ago at a CCN event, and you were on top of the world. I mean, I remember you were bringing your whole company to the winter retreats in Cancun, and business was good. And then you ran into some challenges, and you've overcome them. But to do this episode today on this weekend at the stadium, I mean, I'm not going to take any credit because you've done all the work, but this is Inner Blueprint. Man.
Absolutely it is.
At its finest.
It really is.
Yes.
Yeah. I look back at that time, Sean, and I think there was a lot of things. It was just what I've learned through being in Inner Blueprint, it was one decision. And I can't hold myself back anymore for being in one decision because it was one that led to some harder times than what you want in life. But I think it led us to where we are today. And today's pretty damn good.
Yeah. Well, I guess, and it's funny, Randy, I don't know when it'll drop, but Caitlin and I just recorded an episode all about decision and just make the damn decision. But what happens when you make the wrong decision? Did you learn anything? Did you grow? Let's kind of go there for a minute.
And was it completely the wrong decision or did it make you make some really great decisions too?
Yeah, I think, looking back on it, I don't know if it was the wrong decision at the time, but I didn't think through the decision enough. So I think I wanted the decision so much that I ignored some red flags. And I think that's what I've learned is to watch for those red flags a lot more in making the decisions so that when you have to, and it was a big decision that I made. And it didn't have the results that you wanted. And I think that goes back to E plus R equals O,
Yeah.
that you say all the time. It was one response. It was one outcome.
Yeah.
I have a million more responses and reactions that could change my outcome. So why focus on the one anymore?
Oh, 100%. And you said something interesting there, because after you made the decision, there were some red flags, right? And your instinct, your gut, your intuition. And if anything, you've learned to trust yourself more, because we talk a lot about that in decision, is learning to trust you.
Yeah, there was a time period where I second guessed everything, didn't trust a lot of people. It was in a very negative headspace. And I think, getting into Inner Blueprint, I remember when you first started this, I was not ready for it at all. And I think I can't tell you how many times I've heard in other people talking about this. I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for it. Like, if I would have done it, I would have I don't even know if I would have done any of the modules or whatsoever. But once I was, boys, it made a difference. It's helped the last 2.5 years like I can't describe. Different person. I think I'm not a different person, as you say. I'm back to what I was before that one decision.
Well, it's funny. We were talking beforehand, and Caitlin, I don't know if you want to share, like, from when you met Randy just a few years ago. You keep telling me what?
Well, you're a completely different person, because I met you when you were in that time of second guessing everything, of second guessing yourself. There was not the confidence there that you have now. And Sean and I, we were on a walk last night, and I just said, I'm so excited for an episode with Randy, because the man I met, 5 years ago to the man now is a completely different person. You're the king of pivoting, right? Of understanding, like, when the life you've planned for, when everything that you planned for kind of disappears overnight, like, really reframing that and going, okay, wait, like, it's time to reinvent myself. It's time to let go of the old version of me, of those old stories, of what no longer serves me, and reinvent myself into something bigger, better, stronger than I've ever been. And I just...
Well, it was funny, though, because we were on a walk last night, because we both have been so excited, and we knew you were going to be at the stadium for this. And she said, basically to see what you've become. And I said, babe, you don't know. This isn't what he's become. This is him remembering who he really is. Because I saw this version when I first met him. I mean, everybody in CCN was like, we just want to do what Randy's done.
Oh, yeah. You talked about how, one conference he brought his entire team
Team. Yeah. Had, I think there was 100 people there, and 50 of them were with contract exteriors.
Yeah, it was, I'll say that's one of the decisions I learned that I don't think I'd ever do again. That's a little too much HR world.
Especially in Cancun with tequila and pools and beaches. Yeah.
So maybe learn from Randy's mistake. Don't take the whole team to Mexico for an event. Maybe don't do that unless you have got some paperwork in place beforehand.
Well, I don't even think they go there anymore because of that.
We love, like, we haven't been there in years, but we love going. But we travel everywhere else now. And it's funny looking back when you said the decisions and all of those different things. And, when I look back at that time, I think life also threw a lot of curveballs at us on top of that, with some major family members passing away. And that just put us in I can't describe what it was. And I think those who have been in that hole know it and feel it. But man, is it good on the other side again,
Oh. Well, I think, and Randy, you and I have talked about this one-on-one. There's not a lot of people that can understand. You and I both have been through business challenges. For me, a couple bad decisions led to some really hard times, and then losing loved ones under kind of tragic circumstances. I mean, financial loss is one thing, but loss of love is another. And maybe we can just talk to listeners who might be going through a little something right now, because like you said, you didn't even want to talk to me or work with Inner Blueprint when you were going through it. And I didn't either. It took me a little bit of time to be open to finding Bob Proctor and finding that work. And as we always say, it happened at the perfect time. But if somebody's struggling a little bit right now, what words would you have for them?
It's going to get better. That's the biggest thing to know, is you won't be able to see it today, but I'm doing this podcast from the seats that I grew up, that my mom would take me to when I was 5 years old. These are the seats that I grew up in. And this is where, my parents grew me to love Ohio State. You just got to find that happiness again. And it's there, it's inside of you. And a lot of people are going to say, let it go, let it go, let it go. And until you're ready to let it go, you're never going to let it go. but you got to make that commitment to let it go. Cause I can't, like it's not to say that you can't hold on to the memories of those lost ones. Right. And love them still to this day. Like I'm here. So I dotted the I to these seats right here to my mom. Oh, that was awesome. Like there's nothing better.
Oh,
That's in the top, to pay tribute to her legacy. So
well,
yeah, that was
and
awesome.
Randy, I coach people when you say, how does it get better? You can never say it doesn't. This is about as good as it gets. But I text you. I don't know if it gets better than what you're, I'm getting emotional because holy shit, how does it get, I don't know. It gets pretty
Yeah.
good. But when you get to have a full circle event in memory of your mother, celebrating with your beautiful wife and your beautiful daughter, being able to step away from the business for a couple of days, it's now on its path to going somewhere it's never been, even when you had greatness before. Yeah, you are. We're going to have to raise the bar. We're just starting. What do you want? We get to raise the bar for you because it is going to get better, but you get to just soak this in right now, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's funny because this year I thought my worthy goal that you have us do was, it was so good. And then this summer you guys have challenged me, and it wasn't even a goal anymore. The where I'm at today compared to 2 years ago, compared to last year, I think it's just night and day. And now it's fun because the other part is my wife is in her blueprint, and she's really bought in, and now she's on the journey with me. Although it's her own journey, we're together in this, and it is awesome.
Well, and I love that. And for listeners, if you don't know maybe the lingo or what we're talking about here, but Randy said we call them C-type goals. And a C-type goal is something that you really want, but you have no idea how it's possible. And it both scares you and excites you equally. And what Randy's just described is what just a couple of years ago, he had no idea. It's now what we call a B goal, where it's either in process,
Or he knows
already
exactly
happened,
how to get it.
or he knows how to get it. And the most important part is he believes it's possible, which a couple of years ago, it wasn't even a full belief yet, right?
So
Hold on
when
one
my
second.
wife and I did our own versions, and then we read them, we listened to each other, they were so aligned, and it's pretty crazy. Now we've been together 30 years now, so I hope that means there's another 30 to go, because it definitely shows that we're the right couple together. And I think, going back through all the struggles, our relationship has gotten probably better through it all, because we're now even more aligned than we ever were before, which is really the great part.
Oh,
It is magic when people are able to have their partner, right? Husband, wife, because that's the most powerful mastermind. We teach in masterminds and really hit on the mastermind principle. And so when you have your partner equally as invested on their own journey, and you've been together a while, to know that what she wants and what you want are so aligned that the magic is just starting, right? Like it's only going to get better from here, because you've got this higher awareness now. You have these higher goals, and you're set. You're committed, not just to each other, but to yourselves, to be the best you can be, it's magic. And it's what I hope for everybody in our program, that, that their partner goes all in, just like I've seen Michelle do. She was a hard one to get in. And then once she was in, she went all in.
Yeah. When she went all in, she definitely went all in. And it took a while. She really struggled with her brother's death, and she had to get past to a point to where she could talk about it. And when she did, it's pretty awesome to see. It's funny. She challenges me on some of the lessons from Inner Blueprint now. And she'll be like, "Hey, did you know that this was," I'm like, yeah, but I'm like, but that's awesome that you're telling me. The only bad part is sometimes she's like, "Do you know in module 10 that it says this?" I'm like, "Now, which module is that?" Because I've done it a couple times, so I know the titles, but I don't know the exact, that exact one memorized like she does, because it's never the one for the week. It's always like later on that she brings that one up. So it's really fun to see her do it, and I think it's motivated me to even push a little bit harder. To keep up with her speed and her energy, because that is so much, I think it's when you've done something for a while, you can sometimes take your foot off the gas, and she's helped me put my foot on the gas pedal a little bit more this time, which has been really good.
Oh, I love that. And alignment, we talk about that all the time. And like the mastermind, two or more people coming together with common purpose and goals, and then harmony and alignment come into play. And that's when you really supercharge it. I think for a second, just for listeners, because I think what you've been able to do and what you've been able to overcome is so inspiring. And I love that you, like I, can say, just trust us. It gets better because it does. It always does. This too shall pass, right? But you just said you and Michelle are closer today. What are some other benefits of a challenge that feels like it happened to us, shifting it to happen for us? What other growth have you seen in your life and in yourself personally from all of this?
I would say, I think there's been different types of challenges that have happened this year, from business challenges, with do I have all the right people on the seats? And I definitely went about it very different this year than I ever have. And I think in the end of it, what it's helped me realize and helped really establish with our team is that every decision is based by our core values, where it doesn't matter. As I told them, there is no wrong decision. There's wrong outcomes, and we can't control the outcomes sometimes. We can fix the decision-making process. But as long as you made a decision to our core values, then it's always right. We'll just help you maybe figure out why that result wasn't the result we needed or that you wanted, and stop getting so fixated on the result because that's a past outcome. Yeah, so let's get ahead of it and let's work on fixing the future outcomes rather than looking back. That Steve Jobs quote, I'm going to not say it right, but he always talks about, you can't look at the future in a mirror, right? Or something like that. I know I'm butchering it really bad.
No, let's say
you always have it memorized.
It's because I've lived it, right? So have you. You can never connect the dots moving forward. So listening to Randy and I, you just have to trust that they'll connect, because when you look back,
They always do.
they always connect. They always connect. And
Yeah,
everything happens for a reason, even if in the moment we can't figure it out. So
Yeah, and Randy, you've done such a great job of taking any situation, right, and thinking, oh, why me, and changing that to what's possible now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really amazing to see not just you personally completely take off in that whole new awareness of letting go of how things should have been or what you thought should have happened, or like those old stories of you, and really just propelling yourself forward into what's possible now. It's amazing to see. It really is.
I think what I've learned in all of it is my best self is still ahead of me.
Yes.
Right. So stop worrying about what I was or what people thought or anything like that, because the only person you can control is yourself. Right. So stop worrying about everybody else, what they think and everything else. And if you're doing what you feel is true in your heart, then it's always right. And you're going to get better, and this is being in Inner Blueprint, being in things like this has made me get better. And it's not just Inner Blueprint. It's all of the other things that you get in that mastermind group, right? Mm-hmm. And not just being in the large one, but also being in the smaller one. But it's really understanding that the mastermind group, it's not that they hold you accountable. It's sometimes that you just say things out loud and you justify it. There's always something with a justification after it, right? Like, oh, well, but, or maybe, I don't know. No, like those mastermind groups, they don't let you put the but in there or justify anything. And then you realize, yeah, why am I doing that? Maybe I should just be honest with myself more. And that's when you get past those bad decisions in life, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think there's no such thing as a good decision or a bad decision. I think there's decisions that are aligned and there's decisions that are not aligned. And sometimes you find a decision that you think this is aligned, and you find out along the way, like we hit at the beginning, oh, there's some red flags. This might not be in alignment like I thought it was. So time to pivot and make the next decision, right?
Yep. Yeah, I think it's funny because when you make those, when you start realizing that more, and I think that comes with the growth of trying to work on yourself, right? Like from what Bob Proctor said, and then just what you teach and what you guys always teach. You've got to not be worried about the result. I mean, the outcome.
Yeah.
You just got to really just focus on you, and you, like you said, Caitlin, If it's aligned with what you're saying, it's right. Right. And you could just move on. And um, what's funny is I think a lot of business owners are really good at this. They're really good at helping other business owners more than ever helping themselves.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
if someone needs help with like, hey, I'm really struggling with this, let's get on a call. But you're having the same struggle, but you won't listen to what you're telling them, but you'll more than happy give out the advice. I think we're the most stubborn breed of people that there are. Uh, that's possible. So
Entrepreneurs definitely are. I will say that, right?
And home improvement. I always joke that I picked the hardest
Hardest
industry in the
industry.
world to try to get open to mindset because, there are a lot of paradigms and a lot of knowing doing gaps that we have. One thing too that I found very interesting, Randy, and I'd like you to maybe speak on it. And I think you found out in one of our smaller masterminds, it's about the self-image. And when you made that one decision and you went through some challenge, you did a pretty good job of beating yourself up, as did I in my example. And for years, you didn't think you were viewed as successful as a leader. Wasn't it kind of interesting when you got some feedback from those of us around you that didn't ever see you that way? We always saw the 2015-ish Randy that was on top of the world, and it was only you that was beating yourself up.
Oh, it was, you put me on the spot pretty hard, which was good because I definitely went to events and I was the turtle. I hid in my shell. Like I knew everyone and they knew me and everything, but I would hide. Like I didn't want to, I was embarrassed to be there. And then listen to people talk. I'm like,
Who's that guy?
maybe it's really just me. Okay. Maybe I don't need to hide in the corner and not talk as much anymore. And maybe part of what I'm here for is to help just other people as well with what I've learned. Because I think that's a big part is, Charlie Gandell, I have to give a big shout out to him in this. And I know there's a lot that have always brought up his name, but Charlie's a big reason why I'm still here.
Oh,
Because in that dark time, Charlie talked me out of something because he basically said, hey, I've been where you were and look where I am. And I'm paraphrasing all that he said, so that you and I don't turn into
Ball
a true
babies.
crying session. We probably should have brought some tissues or something, but and Charlie, I've gone to business planning from CCN so many years, and I never did half the stuff. I said I did, but I never really did until I truly embraced it. Until the business really took off. And it's funny how many people think they're doing their business models right, and their mind is holding them back.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
not their business that's holding them back. It's their mind that's holding them back, right? Oh, well, I'm not good with numbers, or I'm just good with production, or I'm just good with sales, or it's always those justifications and those excuses
yes.
that they put to it, But you could tell the ones when everyone's hit that spot in their life, especially when you're working on yourself and they're getting better, you could see the light change in them, right? And I was talking to DJ Destrardens earlier this year, and I'm like, hey, I feel really weird. Like, I feel different. He's like, perfect. You're in the exact right spot.
Well, and I do, Randy, think this might be a good point in the episode just to bring some awareness to mental health, and especially for all people, but driven individuals that get themselves in positions because, you just said Charlie saved your life. And at some level, Charlie saved my life too, because I heard him year after year in business planning talk to a point in his business when he was going over a bridge and he thought it might just be better to drive off that bridge than to go face what he had to face. And when we get into dark places, if you're listening to this and you're going through some challenge, reach out to Randy, reach out to me. We've been there. We live in a world that we all deserve way more support. And it does get better. It does get better. If I hadn't been pushed to my limits and gone back up, I wouldn't be living my dream life. If you hadn't been pushed to your limits, and again, each one of us deals with different challenges and struggles, but please know if you're listening to this or if you know somebody that could use a little bit of inspiration, it does get better. You do deserve to be heard and talk about it. And if you don't have anybody, reach out to Kaylin or I, reach out to Randy, because it is important. Sometimes we put so much pressure on ourselves that we think a financial hardship or somebody not showing up and loving us the way we deserve is not a reason to be here. And that's not true. That is not true. We all deserve. This life is a gift. gift. And sometimes it doesn't feel that way for a little while, but we get through it and we get back to feeling like it's a gift again, right?
Yeah, I think you said it best. You know, if you're in that bad spot, you've got to reach out, right? Do not think that is the best way out,
Yeah.
because it's not. It's just
No.
as simple as that, right? I went to a funeral of a friend of mine who unfortunately thought that was his only way out. And if you ever questioned, go to a funeral of someone who went down this path.
I've
Watch
lost
the
it.
family members and them, and they don't see why. They don't see any of your reasons that, oh, I would be better if I'm not here, because that's just not true, right?
Right.
It's just not.
Right.
So you've got to realize that no problem is too big to overcome.
It's true. And your
No.
success rate is 100% up to this point, right?
Yeah.
You've overcome every
And-
terrible thing that's happened before.
And,
So
and we're all human. We all make mistakes. We all do dumb shit. I mean, whatever it is, you know, one of my favorite quotes is a Jim Rohn quote. You're not a tree, move. And literally, no matter what circumstance we're in, we have free will. We can start over. We can make a different decision. We can get back up over and over. And it's not easy. It's not. I mean, you, Randy, are a walking testament of what it looks like to get knocked down quite a few times and just keep getting back up. Because if you get back up enough times, it starts to get good again.
it gets
Oh,
easier.
You know, Gary Vee always says that, you know, those older people, I say older, those people that are over like 45, they're like, oh, I have to start. He's like, you're young. So you could start over 2 more times. Like,
Yeah.
So stop saying you got to start over. You're just starting, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the fun part is I tell people that I joke with Michelle, more my wife, that we have a 15-year-old business that's in year 3,
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
right? I had
Yeah.
12 years of figuring out how to run a business to now actually run a business.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now it's time to run the business.
Well,
Yeah, because you're never starting over from ground zero. You're starting over from wherever you were, which is full of knowledge and experience and what not to do. So then you get to focus on the what to do.
I can't remember. I was listening when I was going through my dark point and I felt like I'd lost everything, right? 20 years in business, a relationship, and all for naught. And here I am starting over. And I was listening. And basically, the message was this: the person that built everything you just described losing is standing right here in front of me. And so although we might lose stuff, we don't lose ourselves. And you, Randy, like what you're doing today is because of everything you went through, the success, the challenge, and on the other side, you are, and I can speak for myself, we're wiser, we're stronger, we make better decisions, and we have more persistence and grit than we would ever had if it would have been easy, right?
Yeah. And you know, on the flip side, when we keep on saying it's so much better, for those that are listening that don't understand, it can get better. It really, really does. And there's things about, it's just not your mind that starts your positivity changes, but also you're like, okay, maybe I need to get in better shape. And you start actually trying to get in better shape. You start losing weight, you know, this year, my wife has been just blown me away. Like both of us went on a health journey this year. For a long time, she was really mad at me. And I'm like, well, I'm bigger than you, so it's very easy for me to be winning this if this is a competition. But now she is just kicking my butt. But it's fun because, you know, you always talk about the trifecta, right?
Yes.
And the easy one to always forget is this health
Health and
over
wellness.
here, this part, right? Because as owners, we're always worried about payroll. We're always worried about employees. We're always worried about numbers and all this other stuff. And always the health is the last thing to go. And you know, this year, I think that's what made this year so special is it's the trifecta this year and not just the 2 dots. It's actually a full triangle. But for those that are out there, just know, like, yeah, I know a lot of people this year where leads are down and they got in their head, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or their sales were off. I can tell you on this call right now, our sales have not been the greatest. And I'm not worried because I know we're doing the right things. Right?
Yes.
And when it's supposed to happen, it's gonna happen. So just you got to be mindful of that. Like, just don't go spend all your money and you think you're gonna grow like that huge, but like you got to have confidence in that you're doing the right things for your team. I mean, if you have the right team, just, you know, then a bad month or a bad couple months, it doesn't make a company's lifetime. you know?
No.
No. And if anything, even some of the challenges you've had this year, you've made decisions that in the long run are making the company better. That's why you have so much peace right now, as you know, every single day you're making decisions to move the needle forward and letting go of the past, letting go of any past failures and just learning from them all. That's really what it's about.
Well, and there's
Yeah.
a whole nother point you brought up here. You said, I went to business planning however many years, and it wasn't the plan that was holding me back. It was me, right? It's ourselves. And so what I think a lot of entrepreneurs, especially in the home improvement space, forget is you started the business. You are the business. If you're not working on you, on your mind, on your health, on all of those things, you're not really working on the business because you are the biggest part of the business, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah,
so
I think,
you
yeah,
can have,
you got to work on the business. And the problem is we get sucked into the business too much. But we get sucked in the business too much because that's our easy button.
yep.
So the easy button is to say, oh, I'm going to help production, or I'm going to help sales, or I'm going to jump in here. When the reality of it is, it's 10 times better for you to not jump in, because you're not having your employees learn. They just know that you're going to jump in. And instead, if you've got to be, to be that, to go to EOS talk, you've got to be more the visionary than the integrator. You've got to.
Yes.
And too many owners are the integrator, and I'm guilty of that as well still, right? But in the end, you've got to, the business is yours to run and yours to lead. You've got to put the people in it to do the daily tasks, right?
Yes.
And I think that's very hard for us to do.
Yes. Well, I love this. And we've kind of talked a little bit about mental health, and it is important. And if you need help, the other one you just brought up, we do the trifecta with finances on top. A lot of people have a skinny triangle. They put so much focus on the health. And just because you're in a football stadium and this is basketball, but I'm thinking sports analogies, here in Salt Lake City in Utah, we had a very successful businessman by the name of Larry H. Miller. He started as a used parts salesman, ended up owning dealerships, ended up owning our Utah Jazz here, the Delta Center. He passed away at 64 years old. And I read his biography. And I remember seeing him. I was out to dinner one time with my family. And he came out of his office like at 7 p.m. at night. And basically, long story short, one of his biggest regrets, he was diabetic and he didn't take care of himself. He was so focused on business and growth. And he did as good a job as anybody can do in business.
Yeah, he's very successful.
His family still has legacy money, but they don't have the most important thing of that legacy, and that's him. And I actually think of him often after reading that. And that's why with you guys and the groups, I always talk about, knowing doing gap. We know what to do to get healthier, but until there's a crisis, most of us don't make a decision. And I love you sharing that, you're feeling the trifecta and making it more of an emphasis because it is important. You are important. We got to take care of you.
Well, I think, whenever there's challenging times, that health part of the trifecta is on someday island. Someday I'll do it. Okay, I'm going to start tomorrow, or I'm going to do it next week, or I'm going to start next. It's never today, right?
Right.
And to be, I think for those, if they realize, if you actually put more energy into yourself instead of the energy of your troubles, you'll get out of your way, and you'll actually get to that great spot quicker.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen every time the bottom of the trifecta, self-love and health and wellness. When people work on loving themselves more and taking better care of themselves, they always make more money. You just always do. It's like a natural response to that.
Well, and another part of that too, Randy, is, you hit on the network that we have, right? The group, the large group of business owners. You have any of them to hold you accountable, to reach out to when you're struggling. So that part of health is also, emotional and mental health. And so really realizing I'm not alone. I'm not stranded on a desert island. I need to stop acting like I am. I have this network of people with like-minded, they're like-minded individuals that want the same things as me. I can reach out to them at any time. And then also in Stellaris, in our smaller group that you're a part of, you've got,
brothers.
7 brothers that if you went silent, they'd call you out on your shit right away. If you weren't being honest, they'd be the first to say, Randy, come on now, let's go. And so for men, you guys really are not programmed to ask for help, to be involved, to reach a hand out. You're not, because you're supposed to be the strong one, right? But men need other men. You need networks. You need connection. You need people to really hold you accountable for being your very best self. You can't do it alone, and you don't have to.
No, well, I think the problem is being a business owner, you're not going to talk to a lot of your people in your market, right? Because just because of that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the greatest part about the mastermind. Um, I mean, let's see, there's not in our group, but there's another one in Charleston that if I really needed his help, he's right there, and vice versa, right? And but there's people in Chicago to, to Utah, to all over the country. But the problems are the same no matter where you live or what business you're in. Um, and sometimes just knowing that, I think is huge. But yeah, I think you said it best. Men don't open up well about how they're feeling and everything else. And once you find that brotherhood, right? Boy, is it like that's the largest group. Like we'd run through a wall from if anyone would call today, said, "Hey, I need you in this city." There'd probably be like, "Okay, when, not like how quick can I get there?" Type of a
Yes.
feeling.
Yes.
So,
Well, you've already showed up that way for another member really powerfully. So thank you for that.
yeah, I mean, well, people have done it for me, so I'm going to do it for them. For other people.
Yeah.
So
And I guess a plug, if you're listening, you're in the home improvement industry as a business owner, if you need a group, we've got one. And we do have a women's group as well. And if you're an in-home sales rep listening to this, we've got an in-home sales group. So we do have some support. And there are lots of groups out there. I think ours are unique in the fact that we work on mindset. So you can maybe speak onto that, Randy, being aware of the mind and the paradigms and being able to call each other out on program pattern behavior brings a special something to a group.
well, I'll go back to one of the very first paradigms I learned about myself from being in the group. I was raised by a single mom who was a school teacher. It wasn't that we didn't have a bad life growing up. I grew up in a townhome, nothing fancy. We didn't have a ton of money, but she was a teacher. But she always used to say this saying, I'm going to rob Peter to pay Paul.
Oh.
Right. And I didn't realize how much that impacted all my business decisions until you and I were talking one time. I'm like, holy crap. And, there's no way that I would have ever thought that statement would have affected me and how I ran the business, but it did.
You robbed Peter to pay Paul, as a lot of business owners do, right? We do.
Yeah,
And yours was a program. Yeah.
Yeah. And when I realized, hey, I need to let that go, that was my mom doing something that she was doing the best at, right?
Yep.
And that's not mine, that's hers. I think is like you guys like to tell us, like that was hers. So I've got to let it go. And the way you let it go is, through all the work that you do and on all the different modules. But really, it's in the daily gratitudes and the worthy goal and being, there's a lot of people out there that I talk to that some people are religious about and writing everything down and doing their worthy goal and all of that stuff. And there's other people, for you that doing that consistency might be not first thing in the morning. It could be at lunch. It's not about the time. It's just the doing, right? You got to do it.
Yes.
Because you always tell us, right? Within 30 days, it's going to start taking effect, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And one of my I am statements is I am a believer.
Oh.
So that if I ever start to question myself, that's the first one I lead with. That I believe in myself, right? That yes, I'm doing the right things. People might be questioning why I'm doing what I'm doing, but I can see future.
Yes.
The future, what it looks like, that maybe I got to get them to understand it better. But those I am statements are so powerful to get you out of your head.
I love that.
It's so true. It is. And it's so true. And it really is. It's so amazing to me because to know what you've gone through, right? Huge struggles. I mean, we could list off everything, right? But you really are a believer and you're a believer in yourself. And it took some time to get there. I think, every day when you get dressed, you'd make sure you had your favorite accessory, the beat up stick, for quite a while, right? Before you were like, wait a minute, I don't need this thing anymore. But it's just, now I love, I get texts, from you and you, Michelle, will be at Disney World with a, how does it get better? Or, whatever it is, it's always, how does it get better? How does it get better? You have this level of expectancy, which, Sean and I teach, but you really just embody. And it's like, for us, it is so validating and it's so exciting for us to see is just, you live life with this, how does it get better mentality? Because you know It does. It always does.
And you inspire us, just so you know, Randy. You and Michelle inspire us. Thank
Well,
you.
I think the how does it get better? What I love about that statement, it it encompasses enjoying where you're at and appreciating where you're at, but knowing that this isn't it, right?
Yes.
That there tomorrow could be better, right? So how did you might think today, like dotting the I this weekend was like, oh my goodness, it was amazing, right? Doing all of the things I did. And I think tomorrow's going to be better than Saturday was, right?
That's
Just
what it's all
because-
about. Yes.
Yeah, because I think that's to me, what that statement means is tomorrow's going to be better than today. So just enjoy today, appreciate today, but look forward to tomorrow, right? Don't
Yes.
hold on to something from today. And because I think sometimes, a lot of us live in the past.
Yeah.
Maybe our glory days of, 2 years ago was my best year ever. And, and I'm living on those times. No, live today,
Yes.
be today, right?
Yes.
Enjoy today.
It's so cool. So cool. One other thing, we can't do an episode from you being at Ohio State University without talking about Urban Meyer and E+R=O for a second. And I just want to share with you, it's interesting. This weekend, we had the Utah opener, which Urban Meyer was at Utah for a couple of years. When I first got my ticket, so it was 2004, I still have 2 tickets in the old section where I used to sit, and I have 2 in the front row right where we sit today. And me and Caitlin walked over those seats because our daughter was sitting in them. And it was just weird, Randy. I just to share with you publicly here. We walked into the stadium from the old way, and as I walked through, I felt out of place. I'm not the same person that used to walk to those seats. And I went down, and nothing against those seats. They're great seats.
They're great
but
seats.
I wouldn't sit there today. I'm too spoiled by where I sit. But then it got me thinking about Urban and then him going to Ohio State, winning a national championship with a 3rd-string quarterback. And I got my bracelet here. I'm going to hold it up for viewers. E+R=O. And he brought that with the mindset coach to OSU. And you've sent me pictures. It's still in the band today, right?
Yeah, so the band room has actually the letters on there, E+R=O. When my daughter was trying out for the band, because she knows I have that bracelet on my wrist as well, right? I'll wear it all the time. And she actually recognizes it. And it's something that I really focus on with the team is that I can't control the event, right? I can't control the outcome, but I control how I respond, right? Or how I react.
Yes.
And what Urban did is he changed it a little bit in that, and he calls it the R factor.
Uh-huh.
And it's the R factor of what is your R factor today, right? Are you responding or are you reacting? Which one are you doing? So if you can control that, you're going to win. You're going to get the outcomes you want more and more, right? And he talks about that. A lot of his ex-teammates players talk about that still to this day. They have podcasts and stuff where they'll talk about it. But the fact that it's in the band room, and half those kids probably don't even really know what it means. Now, my daughter's told a bunch of them, right? And
I love that.
I love that. She's like, yeah, my dad has a bracelet of it. Look, so, but it's such a powerful, simple statement that if you can get yourself to understand it and get your team to understand it, it is so good, right?
Yes.
So good.
Yes, we're programmed to react, but we learn how to control that and respond to get better outcomes. And you've done one hell of a job at responding to challenge, struggle, loss, to creating what we see on the screen today. This amazing, powerful man standing in his favorite stadium in a sentimental spot, coming off one of the best weekends ever, and still saying with gratitude,
how does it get better?
I don't even know, man.
I can't wait to see. Personally, I can't wait to see.
Yeah, I know the next 10 years, when you started your journey, Sean, you had enjoy the ride.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
And I think that's what we're doing right now is we're enjoying the ride, right? It doesn't mean you're going to not have bumps on the ride, but enjoy it because bumps are part of every journey. I don't care what road you're on. There's curves and there's bumps, but enjoy it because you're going to in a place like if you know where you're going, that is just so. If you know what you want, go get it. If you don't know what you want,
figure it out.
It doesn't matter. That's the thing about the seagull, right?
Yes.
Just think something crazy out there and just literally just put something out there. Like I can tell you one of the parts of my worthy goal is that we are going to do a scholarship in my mom's name to the band. We're going to donate to there's a big building. You can't see it behind the scoreboard, but it's the James Cancer Hospital. It's a huge hospital. And we're going to create a foundation in Michelle's brother's name. Like that is what enjoying the ride is all about.
How does it get better? One of my good friends talking about enjoy the ride on my podcast. Just did. And again, when you say that, I can feel the belief that you're going to do it too. That's the coolest part about this is the belief. You are a believer, man. You're a believer in you. You're a believer in possibility. And because of it, this world's a better place. So
I agree.
I appreciate that.
I think we can call this a wrap because this has been a good episode. Could it get better? Maybe, but it's been a pretty good one. All right.
I'm just glad we could do it from here, and the university let me do it because I had to get them to approve it.
Yes.
And, they did.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Best timing. I mean, when I picked this date, who knew it would be the weekend, the Monday after all of this happened. And here we are. And it was so, and even the text when you accepted this, you were like, you guys, I've been saying I want to be on your podcast. And then I get this text and the date lines up with this. And it's magic. And that's how life is. When you really go all in on yourself, when you start to understand the power of your mind, you realize that life is magic. You learn to enjoy the ride. You learn to let go of the things you can't control and you learn to let go of what doesn't serve you. And you step into magic, and life really is like Walt Disney wanted it to be, right? Magic.
Agreed. It's a great life. Enjoy it.
Enjoy it. And I always say there's no such thing as coincidence. I heard it from Wayne Dyer, and he talked about coinciding lines. It's a mathematical equation. No coincidence. You're in the stadium coming off this amazing weekend for you to share your powerful story and how whatever you're going through right now, we promise you it will get better.
It does.
Enjoy the ride, as Randy said. Learn how to respond. Learn how to believe in yourself. And we'll call this a wrap.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you,
this a wrap.
Randy.
Right.
Listeners.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. If you like what you've heard, hit the subscribe, share this with somebody. The mental health, if you need help, please reach out to somebody, reach out to one of us. We're here to help. We're here to support. And as always, enjoy the ride. It's a good one. Yeah. Welcome to the Inner Blueprint Podcast. I'm Sean Foyer, the Universal Mindset Disruptor. With over 20 years of turning blueprints into thriving home improvement businesses, I've learned that the strongest foundations start in your mind. Whether you're building a business or your own success, we're here to reshape how you think and face daily life and always remind you to enjoy the ride.